Shabbat Titzaveh Shalom. The Mishnah of Yomi is continuing for Eiruvin, chapter 8, and we are on Mishnah number 9 in our discussion of water rights on Shabbat between courtyards. So what about Chatzer, a courtyard? It's less than 4 amot. The Gemara means it's less than 4 by 4 amot. If you have 16 square amot or more, or it's an 8 by 2 or some kind of configuration where you have the surface area, this does not apply. So what's the deal with a small chatzer? Ein shevchin b'terchamayim b'shabbat. You can't pour out your wastewater, from the dishes or the washing or the restroom. Can't pour that out on Shabbat because it won't all be absorbed into this ground of the small chatzer. It's too small to absorb everything, and it will flow out into Rishus Harabim, and transferring from a Rishut Yachid, a private domain, the courtyard, to the Rishut Harabim, the public street right outside, is hotzah, is a biblical malacha on Shabbat. Now the Mishnah continues with the way out for its small chatzer dwellers. Elim ken asula uka mechazeket setayim. Unless you have an uka. Now, uka sounds like uk because it means like it's a cesspool. It's like a pool to throw the wastewater in. So I think the word uk or yuck comes from uka. It has to be mechazeket setayim min a nekev lamata. It has to hold 2 seah of liquid underneath the nekev. The nekev is the hole for the overflow valve or the overflow pipe that will take the overflow out to Rishus Harabim. And the Mishnah adds, this uka can be bein mi b'chutz bein mifnim. It could be even outside the chatzer itself or inside the chatzer. And they add elashem mi b'chutz, if it's built outside the chatzer, if the cesspool is outside, tzorich likmor, you have to cover it over. You put like a dome over it so it doesn't look like it's part of Rishus Harabim. Mi b'fnim ein tzorich likmor. If it's inside the courtyard itself, you don't have to have a covering on it. Though, it's uka, so you might want to. But outside, you have to if it's in Rishus Harabim, and you understand there's some sort of like pipe or gutter that flows from the courtyard itself into the uka, and the uka could be sitting in Rishus Harabim, like right there by the edge of the street, but it's not part of Rishus Harabim because it's a deep pit with a cover. So again, it's its own domain separate from Rishus Harabim. Let's get on to Mishnah Yud. Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer, biv shu kamor, arba amo bershut Harabim. If you have a biv, a drainage channel, and it's kamor, it's covered up, as we just saw about the uka, and it's arba amot, and it has a length of 4 amot or more, and it's going into Rishus Harabim. So it's starting inside the chatzer. And the purpose is for, to drain the wastewater and the rainwater coming off the roof and things like this. And you want it to drain out into the street, not to stick around in the courtyard and make a muddy mess. So if it's 4 amot long, according to Eliezer ben Yaakov, you could pour water into the beginning of this biv, this drainage, on Shabbat. Because you have 4 amot now, like we saw in the last Mishnah, it's enough for it to get absorbed. Typically, all the wastewater will get absorbed over 4 amot. But the sages here disagree. They say, afilu gag o chatzer mea amma. They say, even if this roof or this courtyard is 100 amma wide, so meaning that this gutter is going along the roof, or this gutter is going along the floor, the dirt, the ground level of the chatzer, even if it's over 100 amma, lo yishbach al pi abiv. You can't pour water directly into the mouth of the gutter spout because it's going to come out with force. People in the Rishus Harabim are going to see that, oh my gosh, there's water like dumping into the street, and they're going to suspect the people in the chatzer have intended to dump it into the street. Aval shavech megag lagag, or lagag is the girsa we seem to have. It seems you could pour the wastewater or the runoff onto the roof. The hamayim yordin lebiv, and then from the roof, the water goes by itself into the drain pipe. So now it's not coming out into, if there's overflow, that overflow is not going to come out into Rishus Harabim with any force or speed, so there's no issue if it looks like they intended to push that water into Rishus Harabim and transfer it from domain to domain on Shabbat. The Mishnah continues going back to the original topic, and starving the arba amot. the courtyard itself, meaning the uncovered area, and the achsodra. The achsodra is like a colonnade. You have columns that are, supporting a roof or a tent or the like. So even though it's covered, mitzarfin, it joins for your arba amot. Remember, the original halacha is if you have a bigger courtyard, then you could dump the wastewater there if it's 4 by 4 amot. So even if part of it's covered and part of it's uncovered, as long as it's all dirt at the bottom, karka, then it's going to absorb the liquid, and you have a big enough area of ground to absorb the typical wastewater, so you are good to go. Shabbat shalom, be well.